eruption was so powerful, it altered the shape of the mountain. Mount St. Helens was a typical cone-shaped volcano, known as a stratovolcano. But the landslide has torn 1,300 feet off the summit, leaving a gaping crater a mile wide and 2,000 feet deep. It's the largest volcanic eruption in North America in nearly a century.
All right. What's one thing that you noticed before and after the volcano erupted? Because there's a couple different images there, a couple different pictures. Talked about some things. Avery, what's one thing you noticed? That's it.
I said dead.
What's another thing, Carter?
That most of the forest was gone.
Yeah, you saw like the forest before, it was really green, there was a lot of trees, and now they were all just pushed over like Legos. I mean, just pushed over. One more, just because we have a lot to do. Lacey.
All the animals probably were covered with ash.
Yeah, there were a couple pictures of that, just because that, you saw all that ash coming out of the volcano, and it has to come down, and it came down pretty much everywhere. Okay, we're going to move on, because I want to get through this, and I think you guys are going to enjoy this part, okay?
Boys and girls, one other thing with the animals, and I know some of you were very concerned about what happened to the animals, and I get that. Think about your own pets, if you have dogs especially, how scared they get before a thunderstorm even gets here.
Yeah.
They start getting that weird little personality going way before we even hear the thunder, don't they?
Yeah.
They sense that something is going to happen. And did you notice in the video, all those deer and elk that were running down the mountain and away? They were doing that before it actually started. So they would have to move a long ways to be completely safe, and we don't know how many of them did or did not. But you have to remember that part of the life cycle and the web is that some die off for a lot of different reasons. Diseases, injuries, deer running out in front of cars. Animals happen, it happens, it's part of the life cycle. And part of nature. Earthquakes are a part of nature, and so is animals living out there in the wild. So things happen. Alright, you need to pay really close attention to this next part. Everybody on your bottoms looking at the board, but your ears need to be listening.
Coming on, here's the thing, guys. While that's coming on, let me tell you what we're going to do. We are going to build a miniature volcano. Okay, listen, it's not going to be like the one we watched. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Right.
No one will get hurt.
No one will get hurt. All animals are safe.
All
Okay.
animals? Well, we are.
Alright.
We
We can't do this if I don't have your attention. I know you guys are excited.
Jackson.
What I am going to do is I am going to, on the board, using our little projector, if this ever comes up, I am going to show you exactly what you guys are going to do in your groups. So I need all eyes on the board. Again, there it goes.
That's it. That's 3 times. Just a reminder, I had to make your clip.
Okay. I am going to show you exactly what you can do. Everything that you see, you will get. Okay, so I am going to model it for you, and then I'm going to put you in groups, and then you are going to do it in your groups. So I need all eyes on the board. Okay, in your little tray that you're going to get, you're going to have brown sugar. This is going to be our volcano. You're going to have baking soda.
And that's in a little cup, guys. It just is hard to see.
Yeah, on a little cup. Everything that you see here in a little cup. We're going to have a funnel that's going to help us get our stuff into our volcano. You're going to have a little stir stick. First thing you're going to do,
Pay attention.
you need all eyes up there because you were going to do this in a second. you are going to take your brown sugar in your cup here, and you are going to just lightly put your finger right on top, your thumb, and press down, because we want this to be really packed so that when we flip it over, it stays together. Otherwise, we're not going to have a very good volcano.
You guys have done this with sand in a sandbox, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're packing
Or
it.
if you've cooked with mom with brown sugar, you always pack down the brown sugar, and when you dump it out, it has the shape of the cup, right?
So we packed it down nice and tight. Okay. Next thing we're going to do. Mine doesn't have as much brown sugar as yours does, but I'm going to try to do this anyway here. I'm going to take my cup and I'm going to flip it upside down right to the center of my tray, just like that. So when I move it away, it should have a little sandcastle there. That is going to be our volcano.
And boys and girls, you don't need to flip it hard or super fast. Just turn it over, and you'll feel it start to slip out of the cup. Now remember, these are paper cups. If you hold it really tight, you're going to smash your packed down brown sugar. You need to hold it lightly and turn it upside down.
Do your best, not, as you said, not to do it too tightly, because this is our volcano and you want it to come out with like a nice little cone shape here, so that we're able to do this. So this is the next part. This is the part where we have to be very careful. Okay, what I do is I took my cone and I lightly put it over top and just put a little pressure on it just to make sure that it's nice and firm, because I don't want this to fall apart as I'm digging my hole. Okay, so I have my stir stick, and I'm going to dig out my top of my volcano there where my lava is going to come out. So when you're doing this, you need to watch this carefully, and you need to be very careful while you're doing this. Have your hand just gently on the side so you can kind of feel it, so if it starts to fall apart, you can stop, or you can put a little more pressure with your hand there so it doesn't fall apart. But if you pack this nice and tight, like this one is very firm. Like I don't think this is going to have an issue. But you're going to take your stir stick, and right in the center of your volcano, you are going to start digging just a little bit of a hole, like pushing down and kind of digging some of that brown sugar out. And you see it's starting to fall apart just a little bit on the sides.
A little bit like the mountain did in our video. But see how he's holding it with his hands? His hand is helping keep it from completely falling down.
Just trying to get a little bit of a hole there, and if it comes apart, we can push it together. So I have a little hole there. Okay, it doesn't need to be big. Okay, now that I have a hole in the center of my volcano, I am going to take my cylinder here, and I'm going to put the small end right on the top. This is where you need to be careful, because if it's falling apart like mine is up top, you don't want to put too much pressure on it. You can put it just right above it like that. And I'm going to take my little blue cup. It's got white powder in it. This is our baking soda. This is going to go in the center of our hole here in our volcano. So I'm going to pour very slowly into it so I get it inside of it. And if it doesn't get all the way in like that, that's a mess there. See, what I like to think of it, it's the snow on top of the volcano. Some of it has snow on top of the mountain. So,
Before,
what you can do, again, gently to get it down there, just take your stir stick and start just right where your hole was, just gently push down to get it down in there. So now my volcano is set. The last direction, the last thing you're going to do, once you have this set, you are going to come back to me in the back table, and you're going to get I call my lava juice. You're going to get your lava juice. It's vinegar. Okay? And you guys need to pay attention, because if you don't know what to do, I can't help you. I'm showing you right now. You're going to come get your lava juice.